I'd like to call the Redevelopment Commission to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ralph, would you start us off?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
AJ, are you calling the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Greg Lack. Here. Colin Zilli. Alan Ekdahl. Ralph Munt.
Here.
Mayor Lynch.
Here.
Dr. Finley.
Got a quorum, we're okay.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
We have the approval of the minutes from the March 24th meeting. Let's do those first.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have the minutes from the April 14th special meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Please note that Colin has arrived.
Thank you.
We have the payment of the claims. Did everybody get a chance to look at them?
Mayor Lynch, if we could, I'd like to Clerk Treasurer Rivas up. She has some things she'd like to add to the AA docket
Okay.
for your consideration.
It's dangerous up here. So these claims, there's just 3 claims. One for 12, 2 of them for $12,000 each, and the other is for $1,545,873.41, and that was to Milestone. And the other 2 was for the purchases of the property for the trail clearing. So those were payments already done and paid that was allowed, so they missed the docket. So, but they've already been taken care of.
Clerk Treasurer Rivas, could you repeat the numbers, please?
Yes, 12,000, 12,000, $1,545,873.41. So it brings the total docket for the allocation area to $2,833. Oh my gosh, $2,833,786 even.
Thank you.
I like the first number.
Me too.
Okay.
And then we
Sent my bill.
the Witten.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I sent my bill late. If you guys want to consider it this meeting, that's great. If you want to wait till the next one, that's fine too. The kids just still get Christmas.
What was that amount?
Do we get a discount for it being late?
No.
1,800.
Absolutely
No,
no.
he
How
bumps
much
it up
is it?
10%. 1,800.
1,800?
Yes.
So we'll have to add that to that.
So, Mayor, I believe the 3 additional claims on the docket for that were presented by Clerk Treasurer Rivas would be paid out of the AA account, and the claim from Attorney Witten would be paid out of the general account.
Can we still vote on those all together? Do we have, those are separate, right? Yeah, I'll have to look.
We typically
I didn't
approve them
print-
together, but if you'd like to
Yeah.
separate them.
No, that's fine.
Make a motion to approve with the added amounts.
Second.
We have a motion by Greg, seconded by Ralph. Do we have that total now with the 1,800 on there?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you please let us know what that is?
So on the general fund, so the new amount on the, for the RDC general fund would be $23,634.93.
We have the AA account number.
And the AA account number is included, and that
Yes.
number was,
The 2,280,000.
2,833,786.
2,008,786.
833,786.
And 80 cents.
I don't have it zeroed out.
Okay. What was the cents number?
$2,833,786.
00?
Okay, is everybody clear on that? Are there any questions? So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have staff reports.
Yes. Next.
Which staff?
I'll start. I'm sure others wouldn't mind jumping in as well. The Marquette Greenway Trail project, we are set to open bids later this afternoon. the Willow Creek Road Chrisman Bypass Project. Work began the week of April 4th. Milestone's intention is to work in 3 phases with substantial completion expected in mid-August. The former Gilbert gas station demolition at 5439 Central Avenue. Work is substantially complete. During excavation, a heating oil underground storage tank was uncovered. Our contractor on site, Americo, is working on reporting with IDEM and is started closeout documents for that project. The City Hall remodel project, punch list walkthrough was held yesterday, April 27th. Final walkthrough is set for next week, and I believe that we're trying to target early next week. Move back to City Hall is expected to begin soon thereafter, and I believe that Mayor Lynch has announced that we would be having an open house on Tuesday, June 7th, from 4 to 6:30 in advance of the City Council meeting. Invitations will come out.
What was the date on that?
Yes, sir. It's
June 7th.
Tuesday, June 7th, 4 to 6:30 p.m. Founders Square and Plaza, the department is coordinating with Gary Up Construction on outstanding items. In talking with their project manager, I expect them to be on site next week, beginning that work. Downtown baseball complex roofing contractors completed work. SDI will soon begin work on the dugout reconstruction. And bids for parking lot restoration are to be opened later on in this afternoon's agenda. 6300 Central Avenue, Fire Station number 3, the effervescence matter with Gary Up Construction as our general contractor. A pre-construction meeting was held, and the contractor is ordering materials, scheduling work. Founders Square Plaza Police Station Landscape Project. Pre-construction meetings taken place earlier this month, and the contractor Allen's and the department, led by Joe Eberts, are coordinating materials to be ordered and the work ahead. Downtown Portage off-street parking lot. This is the parking lot north of the Portage Police Station. A pre-con meeting was held on Wednesday, April 20th. Layout is expected to begin and should be complete either today or tomorrow. Excavation will then follow with concrete beginning the week of May 16th, paving and striping the week of May 23rd. City Hall parking lot pre-construction meeting was held on Friday, April 22nd. Demo began earlier this week. Milling is set to begin on Monday, May 2nd, with paving set to begin the following day. CSK Planning and Space Program, that was the programming, that was the ongoing work with the Open Air Pavilion, Oakwood Hall and Sycamore. We are coordinating with CSK on schedules for a kickoff meeting. Landscape maintenance is underway. Allen's has been out completing early spring work at Founders Square, Garrison, Baseball Complex, Burns Parkway, Northside Trail, and the Phragmites Control Project at 6100 Southport. And most recently, just last night, we made some, salary ordinance was approved, allowing for me and the department to go through some restructure, which is a pretty exciting time for us. Sandy McDaniel has been named Assistant Director. With your blessing later on today, we would like to recommend to the Redevelopment Commission that Sonia Lindgren take on, in addition to her duties as administrative assistant in the department, would take on the roles as RDC Recording Secretary. And in addition, we will begin advertising for the position of Community Project Manager in the department. As you know, earlier on in the year, the Redevelopment Commission identified that salary in the budget, and we will begin, now that it's in the salary ordinance, we will now begin advertising in search of someone to help out on the projects that I listed in my staff report and the 10 or 11 that we're about to talk about today. And then Sandy, Joe, and Sonia are all here. Of course, Attorney Whitten, if there's any other questions you have of staff.
You guys are busy little bees.
Lots going on, lots going
A
on.
lot going on.
And so that would conclude my report unless you have any questions.
Do any of the members of the commission have any questions in regards to AJ's report? Okay. If not, does any other staff members have anything they would like to discuss or bring up?
Hopefully AJ will bring it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see no old business. We have new business. We're opening quotes, custom fabricated aluminum sign for the
Yes.
council chambers.
Madam Mayor, we'd like to withdraw this petition. Staff and Commissioner Lack have been working on a different approach to this project and believe that there's a better solution. And so we would ask that this matter be withdrawn, and we will be back before the commission soon with that project.
As long as it's there by June 9th or 7th. I'm looking at you, Greg. That was your suggestion.
We will make every effort.
Okay. So our next meeting isn't till the end of May.
It isn't, Mayor, but I believe at some point later on in the agenda, I may ask the commission to consider a special meeting.
Okay. So we have the approval of as-needed engineering service agreements for Founders Square Park.
Yes, Madam Mayor, this is a project that we've talked about in the past. It is an engineering services agreement to look at lighting levels at Founders Square. I believe that everybody should have this in their packet. And you'll start to see is Exhibit A, the project limits that will be looked at by DLZ per this proposal. Lighting levels, now that we've kind of revisited the entirety of Founders Square, I think we have a lot of comfort in the lighting levels around the amphitheater, the new plaza. We're generally comfortable with the lighting levels in and around the building. But the balance of the site has seen some changes over the years. And some of the, I think we're discovering a little bit more about the program of how Founders Square is working. So the thought here would be to review the lighting levels of the park and to ultimately seek a solution to increase those lighting levels in the park to create a constant lighting level throughout the space. Some things have changed along the ways, as you know, because of the poor performance of the ground-mounted pendant lights that were lighting the columns, both at the corners of Founders, and then the lights that were similar around the fence and columns around the water tower. The inside of the park is pretty dark, so we're hoping that we can identify another solution. And then a real big change really was the addition of the playground. As you recall, that was just an open lawn space, and it just has a completely different use that is ultimately requiring some additional light levels. We believe it's an important first step into understanding what is going on, and this will be a step that will then ultimately guide our next set of decisions as it relates to the investment we need to make to improve the lighting levels at the park. The proposal that you have before you is a not-to-exceed amount of $3,800. I hope you would concur with staff that it's something we need to do, and would ask for your support in moving forward with this engineering services agreement with DLZ.
And for what it's worth, I've reviewed it already, and it looks good.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Greg, seconded by Colin. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We have the approval of construction inspection contract for the Central Avenue Phase 1 with American Structure Point.
Yes, we'll have Assistant Director McDaniel present, and we also have Mr. Chris Murphy from Structure Point here to answer any additional questions that you may have.
This is a standard NDOT-approved contract for construction inspection for 2 phases of our Central Avenue project. It is proposed that American Structure Point will inspect and work through construction for the new bridge that will be going up north of the existing bridge on Central Avenue. And the second phase of the project is the road construction, where we bring the roads up to meet the new bridge. The contract is for a total of $233,673.66. It has been reviewed and approved by NDOT, so we are just here to seek your approval.
And Sandy, it would be, this is a reimbursable agreement with the federal grant?
It is one of the reimbursable items of the project. Right now, we don't know how much we'll be getting back, but the hope is to get our 80% back.
Thank you.
Does Attorney Whitten need to review this at all?
I do, and I did. So I looked it over beforehand. Good question. Looks good.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? Any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are opening the quotes for parking lot maintenance at 2500 Buckley Way.
This is the parking lot for the former Little League facility. We are proposing to fill in the cracks and seal coat the parking lot and restripe it. We reached out to 4 contractors, and we received 2 quotes back. Our first quote is from Site Services of Highland, Indiana, for the amount of $7,113. Our second quote is from Toto Excavation and Grading from here in Portage. And their proposal is for $11,950. I'd like to recommend to the commission to award the quote to Site Services for the amount of $7,113.
Yeah, we better have me look at that.
And obviously, we won't sign anything until Mr. Whitten
Good thinking.
takes a look at it.
Thank you.
So we will need a motion to approve with legal opinion following.
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any further questions?
Are we going to, is it fully programmed, or are we going to be having baseball there?
We're making the efforts to make the improvements that will allow for baseball to be played at some point there. Right now, my understanding is the intention of offering the Babe Ruth Cal Ripken program for this year is that it'll be played out of Imagination Glen, the west side of IG this year. But we're just with an understanding that if the park, the space downtown is playable, that at some point they may start to play some games there.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have the rooftop unit replacement at 6070 Central Avenue. I know where that's at.
I don't know. We haven't been there in so long.
Yeah.
We
How long last
requested
summer?
quotes for replacing the rooftop unit above the mayor's office at City Hall. And we received 2 quotes. Our first quote is from Area Sheet Metal Inc. of Hobart, Indiana. They have provided us with a quote in the amount of $17,300. The second quote that we've received is from Bloomfield Mechanical.
She always brings that dagger with her.
Scary.
Don't make her mad while she's doing that.
Bloomfield Mechanical is in Portage, Indiana, and their proposal is, or their quote is for $10,800.
7,800?
$10,800. I would like to recommend that the board approve the quote for Bloomfield Mechanical in the amount of $10,800.
I will make a motion to approve.
The lowest and most responsible bidder upon attorney review.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Sandy, is that to fix that leak that's above?
Yeah,
The-
it's replacement of the unit, so hopefully it won't be.
That's been a long time coming. Okay, we have change order number 4 through 10 for City Hall remodel.
Yes, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, before you, as we work to close out the project at City Hall, we have multiple change orders here that were deemed important in completing the project. And you'll notice here that on the first change order number 4 was a proposal 06 for the exposed beam. And as I reported at that time, if there were change orders associated with getting the work done at City Hall, they were, we wanted to keep the project moving forward. But when there were those aesthetic projects that we felt needed some additional review, we promised to present those to the members of the commission. So that is what we're doing today. So while you've previously reviewed and approved PR 06, it is on change order number 4. So change order number 4 is an add order in the amount of $22,890. Change order number 5 is an add order of $9,029. Change order number 6 is an add order for asbestos abatement at an amount of $34,467. Change order number 7 is for ADA accessibility on the east side of the building, and this is an add order in the amount of $44,582. Change order number 8 is an add order in the amount of $3,354. Change order number 9 in an add order amount of $4,752. And change order number 10, an add order in the amount of $3,859. It would be staff's recommendation to approve change orders 4 through number 10 in the amounts read into the record.
We'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have motion and a second to approve change orders 4 through 10. Are there any questions? Do you have a total for those, or am I
I
going to
don't.
put you on the spot? Okay, we can add it up later.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a proposal for removal of asphalt from the west side of City Hall.
As previously stated, promised that the department would come to the Redevelopment Commission when there were aesthetic matters to consider. This proposal from Geary Up Construction would be an aesthetic improvement to the property and would involve the removal of all asphalt, concrete on the west side of City Hall from Central Avenue north to the north property line. You'll see in the proposal that labor, materials, and equipment and the subcontractor for landscaping are all included in this order. Considering the effort that we've made, I would really ask for your support of this proposal from Geary Up Construction to make the changes on the west side of City Hall. The proposal in front of you for your consideration, it would be an add amount to the contract in the amount of $35,449.
Is it a consideration because the parking will be tight there, especially during council meetings, to have that as like a elected official parking lot or something along those lines?
Good question. The area over there, it could. It doesn't comply with any city standards for parking areas. So I think that it's really important that we lead with good behavior, right, in terms of following our own rules. So it really makes it impossible to use the existing asphalt and provide parking that meets the city's development standards. You know, I mean, historically and forever and a day, we use the parking lot on the east side, or we borrow some parking from the north, you know. And we over the years, I think we've had a pretty good relationship with the multiple owners of the Meadows Shopping Center. But yeah, that would be the consideration I'd ask you to consider. Most importantly is that while it would serve that sort of overflow, but it wouldn't really comply with what our standards are and what we expect of others.
It'll just be turned over to grass or something?
Yes, we'll really clean up the western property line between City Hall and Dunkin' Donuts. There's that rock area. There's a consideration of kind of maintaining that, keeping it rock so that it's really easy to go in there and weed kill and keep crisp and clean. You'll notice in here that there's some landscaping. There's going to be some defensive landscaping installed along that property line. And then, you know, right now it's a lawn that would be established on the west side. I know that Joe Eberts and our landscape contractors are talking about using some of the plant material that is still in place across the street at the former parking lot. That could be transplanted and reestablished in the yards at City Hall.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have the approval for the Portage TIF refunding. Is that Ricardo?
Yes, Madam Mayor. With us this afternoon, we have Mr. Carl Sender from Sender Dalton.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of the Commission. Before you is an amending bond resolution. This allows the flexibility for moving forward with the refunding bonds for either having a surety bond to cover the debt service reserve requirement, or if it so works out that we don't need the debt service reserve, it also allows us to opt out of that. And I'm happy to report today that we do have a purchaser for the bonds, and we're looking to close around May 10th, May 11th, and we do not need a bond debt service reserve. So this resolution allows either way, and so unless you have further questions, it would be our recommendation that you would approve this amendment.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Good. Thank you, Carl. We have the opening of quotes for Hannah's Hope Playground resurfacing.
Evening. We
put out to bid these resurfacing concept. The idea was that we would hopefully try to resurface all of the issues that are out there currently. I know you've seen the pock marks that are in the top of the surface. What this would do is remove the top wear course layer and reinstall a new wear course. The cushion layer below seems to be pretty good. This should give us at least another 5 to 10 years if we take care of it properly. So we received 2 bids. The first one is from a company out of Connecticut, Perfect Turf. In here, but nothing that shows the actual. Okay, so this came with an alternate bid, which would include a 100% alphatic binder. So there was 2 different types of binders. We had an aromatic and an alphatic binders at 50%. So that would actually raise the price. So without the alphatic binder, the base bid is $149,800. With the alternate bid 100% alphatic binder, we have $171,265. The second bid is from a company out of Ohio, Innovative Sports Surfacing.
Innovative food.
Innovative Sports Surfacing. Their base bid is $278,000. Sorry, $278,900. The alternate bid is $296,200.
And they bid on the same thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's quite a difference. Staff would recommend awarding the bid to the lowest responsible bidder. That would be the company out of Connecticut, whose name escapes me. Perfect Turf.
And I'll have a look-see at that as well.
Yeah.
Joe, quick question on this. Were we expecting it to be that amount, or were we
We were
thinking-
expecting at least 200,000.
Okay.
And what's
How
the-
much did we have in the, AJ, do you remember how much we had for the
So
budgeted amount?
yeah, good question. So based on the initial install and the work that Joe had put in prior to the issuance of the bids, in the 2022 working budget of the Redevelopment Commission, we had budgeted $250,000 based on, you know, some of the best practice that we were able to identify. So this is $75,000 lower than what was previously expected.
And what's the difference between the 50% and 100% alphabetic binder?
So the alphatic binder is apparently more wear resistant than the aromatic binder. I don't know, I don't understand the total chemistry, but I can say that the original type of surfacing that was put on was a mix of both to reduce the price. So 100% alphatic. I've read in some places that it can give you an additional 1-2 years maybe of usable surface life. A lot of it depends on maintenance.
Did they send you samples of that so you could look at it, or?
There's no physical samples. They have color samples in some of these.
So
I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between how the alphatic and the mixed would look. I think they look pretty much similar.
Do we have to make a decision on which option to choose?
yeah, so that was going to be my question.
Right.
Joe, is, following up with Commissioner Lack's question, is it your recommendation then to accept bid alternate number 1, award to Perfect Turf in the amount of $171,265? That's the right number I wrote. You don't need to look.
I'm looking back for that sheet again.
Are we thinking of doing that this summer, AJ?
We will do it as soon as possible.
So for,
How long does it take to install that? Would we have to close the?
Well, it'll be closed because it has to be done. Did they give you any? I got the right number, Joe. That's not the question.
No,
Are you
I-
recommending taking the alternate?
Well, I'm just trying to decide whether or not for an extra 2 years worth of lifespan, an extra $20,000 is worth it.
that's less than 10%. I would say to get extra for less than 10% more to get hopefully an additional 2 years for $200,000, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that we
Yeah.
go with the
And
alternate.
then I guess
one.
then a follow-up question, Joe, is there a proposed duration for install, following up on Mayor Lynch's question?
Just not during the 4th of July.
Yeah, I might need to review this.
You say that now and you know what's going to happen, Greg.
Considering that we're likely going to call a special meeting of the commission in a couple weeks, would you like the time to review and give both yourself and Attorney Whitten an extra 2 weeks to review?
I think that would make sense.
Joe, what do they recommend for maintenance? Is that, is it, they talk about repairing cracks or sealing or
Yes,
cleaning?
there should be sealant added. I
Okay.
believe that's yearly. They also recommend vacuuming out the surface because any of the particles that penetrate the surface then allow water to get stuck in there, and then you get the freeze-thaw cycle that we have. It's meant to be permeable, so the water will drain down to the subsurface layer and out. And I think in the past we've had issues with some of that breaking up just because the water can't drain through properly.
And what do you vacuum with, Jim?
I think you can use a vacuum cleaner, or I think I'd read somewhere where they said using a Vector truck. Now, using a Vector truck or a leaf vac could be a little maybe too powerful and may end up sucking the surface right off the top.
Yeah.
But,
Out there
Yeah.
with their Dysons,
yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, I think part of it would be just blowing it off
Yeah.
with, a leaf blower if you can, before it becomes an issue. That would go a long way to helping the situation, I think.
Sorry to put you on the spot if you don't know it, but if you could look it up, do they offer any kind of like an annual maintenance plan where they come in and they
I do
the
not know that,
sealant
but
and-
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, especially with this company. I know there's not a lot of companies around that do this. That's why we've got 2 here from, other states. It's a very specialized type of application, and it's hard to find people who will come out and do the work for you.
Yeah, but
But I'll
if
look
they
into
offer
that.
something like that, and whatever it is, and they can extend the lifetime of it and the look of it, it might be worth it.
I guess my greater question is then, who will go out there and how often will they clean that off? Because that's probably gonna fall to the parks.
Well,
And-
currently, we have contract with Allen's, and they
Okay.
have actually gone out, and I watched a gentleman blow off the entire site.
Okay.
So I would like to think that when they're in the course of their weekly activities of mowing, that they're also trying to clean off any leaf debris, garbage in those areas. So at least that covers us through the growing season this year. But after that, then it's a question of who will take over.
Right, even in the wintertime, I mean, when there's not snow or anything, people are out there on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Well, I'll make a motion to take these under advisement.
second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
We are opening quotes for the National Park Nectar Trail for the Marquette Greenway Trail project.
Hello. We received 2 quotes for our trail projects. Our first quote is from Garriott Construction out of Gary, Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Trees.
Big binder, big project.
It is a big project. Their total bid amount is for $2,797,500. Our second bid is from Superior Construction of Port Indiana. Their bid is in the amount of $4,384,820.50.
And again, they bid on the same thing?
This is a great project.
It is, yeah. And this ultimately alludes to the comment I've made a couple times this afternoon about needing to call a special meeting. Based on the size and magnitude of this project, Sandy, I believe you'll concur that our recommendation would be to take this under advisement.
Before we do that,
Okay.
I have to apologize. I did not prepare these bid docs, so we actually have a couple of our alternate bids, excuse me.
How many do we have?
So I apologize for that. So let's go back to Garriott Construction, and their total base bid is $2,797,500. We have an alternate number 1. This is for outcropping stone staircase, and their bid is for $40,000. Alternate number 2 is for concrete slab for the shelter, the existing shelter that's at Deer Trail Park, and that is for $13,400. All right, let's go back to Superior Construction. Their base bid, $4,384,820.50. Alternate number 1, their bid is for $21,379.50. Alternate number 2, their bid is for $26,800. And like AJ was starting to say, we would like to take these bids under advisement so we can review everything.
Motion to take these under advisement.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Big project.
Big project.
There's a lot of
Madam
people.
Mayor, if I could.
Yes.
Commissioner Lack had a question regarding, is this a grant project? So you'll recall that the city last year received a grant award from the state of Indiana through Next Levels Trails in an amount of right around $2.55 million. We, when we made our grant application, committed to overmatch that project. The budgets, the approved working budget of the Redevelopment Commission. So our responsibility as the city and matching included design as well as whatever match might be required for construction. We committed in our application a local share of $700,000. As of December 31st of 2021, we had outlaid $136,400 for design, and we have a balance of $563,400. So paired with the federal grant, if it's deemed that the area construction bid is responsive and responsible, that we are below what we had thought when this project design commenced. And I will later on, and then under any other business, request the commission to consider a special meeting to take up some of these matters.
Big, wonderful project.
It is.
Okay, we have event posters for Founders Square columns.
Since this was such a expected small expense, we went ahead and just did this over the internet. We sent our request for quotes out to 5 or 6 different companies, and as was last time, we only received one back from Bowman Displays in Munster, Indiana, in the amount of $398.30 for 2 posters. So the unit price was $123.35. That does include shipping too, in case you're wondering what the difference in price there is.
Motion to approve upon attorney Whitten review.
Thank you.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any further questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I don't see any other business other than to schedule the special meeting.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, I'd like to bring up 2 things for your consideration. Earlier on during the staff report, I reported that the City Council amended the 2022 salary ordinance, allowing for restructuring in the department, being able to name Sandy McDaniel as Assistant Director in the department, and also provide the opportunity for Sonia Lindgren to serve as the RDC Recording Secretary, a capacity that I've been filling since the retirement of Lynn Reed. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to serve as your recording secretary over the past several months. But as you can imagine, it's very difficult to be recording the meeting and doing most of the talking during the meeting. I would really appreciate your consideration and approval to name Sonia Lindgren as the recording secretary of the Redevelopment Commission, So I would ask you to consider that this afternoon.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Does Sonia want the job?
She does.
So far, so
Too late
good.
now.
Tough.
Madam Mayor, the second question that I would like to ask the commission to consider is a special meeting. I had originally intended the special meeting to really serve for awarding the Marquette Greenway Trail. Knowing the size and magnitude of that project, I felt it was going to be important to spend a couple weeks reviewing, allowing Attorney Witten the time to comb through. As you saw, it ended up being a binder of documents, not 3 sheets of paper. It's a significant project for our community, and of course, it's involving the state and a grant, and it's important that we have everything buttoned up. Due to our commitment in the grant application, the challenges associated with supply chain, et cetera, the staff and I would like to ask for you to consider a special meeting in a week or 2 weeks' time that would allow us to review the bids and make a recommendation to you during that meeting. And then, in addition to that, I would like to also then bring up be able to prepare and present a recommendation for the playground resurfacing, and I believe those were the two. And then the quotes for the council chamber signage that we withdrew with a desire to head in a different direction. So I would like to, with your blessing, include those 3 matters on a special meeting agenda if you would be so inclined as to call a special meeting.
How long do you need? Next
we
week or the week after?
I would.
Could we maybe say like May 10th? The room will already be set up for a city council meeting. So we don't have to have the parks do that twice.
Yeah, we can squeeze that in there.
If it's May 10th, I will not be able to be here.
There's something else on May 10th I was trying to think of.
City council is that night.
Yeah, city council, but I thought there was something else.
What it works is that morning.
Rob, you're out on the 10th?
10th, I cannot be here.
Okay. Does anything else around that week, anything else that week work for you?
I will be leaving a week from today for 10 days. I'll be out of state.
When are you leaving, Rob?
A week from today.
You could cancel.
Nope.
Well, we could do. Okay. What about pushing it on? We can't do it here.
It's Thursday.
Okay.
Ralph, are you leaving early in the morning on the 5th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we should have a quorum if everybody can attend.
I can make another.
I can do the 10th.
Okay.
We can do it during the day too, correct? We
Let me
don't
look
need
at
it
this on the
4
10th,
o'clock.
because I feel like something is ringing a bell on the 10th. It's not in here, so she doesn't have anything in there.
Even if we can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That likely right before that is an ordinance committee meeting or something like that.
They usually have them at 5:30.
So 4. 4 o'clock work. Would 4 o'clock work for you, Commissioner Zilli?
Works for me.
Okay.
Are you okay, Z?
4 o'clock on the 10th? Yes.
Just noting the ordinance committee does meet at 5, but that should be enough time.
Yeah. With the week to review, we should be prepared to give recommendations to the commission straight away and answer some of the other questions that have been raised about maintenance and some of those other matters.
Okay.
Tuesday, May 10th, correct?
Tuesday, May 10th.
May
4 p.m.
10th at 4 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay. Is there any other business to come before this board? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Meeting adjourned.